Today, we're going to talk about something that I really think everybody should invest in and take, and that is a probiotic. So, I'm going to explain a little bit about probiotics and why you should consider taking one. The one that I use and I'm going to talk about is this one. So, this is from my favorite company right now. It's Bioptimizers. So I'm probably going to do a whole episode just talking about their supplements. So they're a company that's dedicated to just making supplements to help with digestion and to help with gut and immune issues. They make a lot of really good products as far as digestive enzymes, probiotics, and tons of other things that are really beneficial. So today we'll discuss, why you might want to take a probiotic. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible, but basically, as everyone's probably heard, you have tons and tons of bacteria that live inside of you, mostly in your stomach and your intestines. And it's not a bad thing. So they're part of your organism, that you are. So you have tons of these bacteria inside of you. So of these bacteria, which there are tons and tons and tons, some of them are good, as in they support you. Some of them are bad, which there's a lot of different ways you could get bad bacteria inside of your body. And then the majority of them just kind of live in there and just respond to whatever lifestyle you live and what your typical habits are. So the good bacteria basically try to, make sure that the bad bacteria don't grow too much in size. And they also break down things that you eat and foods and other stuff that's floating around in your intestines. And so, they make them so that your body can utilize them. And then there are bad bacteria, which, most of people's immune problems, they say most diseases really start in the gut. So if you have too much bad bacteria, that could cause a lot of health problems for you. The goal in terms of overall health is really to manage the bacteria in your system. So you don't want to kill your good bacteria, which there is a lot of ways that you can do that, and you don't want to let your bad bacteria start to thrive and grow inside. A lot of things kill your good bacteria. So antibiotics, unfortunately, sometimes are necessary, but they do kill a lot of good bacteria in your system. If people have had to use a lot of antibiotics in the past, they really might want to think about something like a good probiotic to start to renew and replenish some of that good bacteria that's thriving in your system. Also, there's a lot of stuff, unfortunately, in our food now that kills a lot of the good bacteria in your digestive tract. So things like pesticides that are sprayed on vegetables and different crops and on coffee really wreak havoc in there. Different things that are used to treat the soil where your food is grown, stuff to preserve your food while it's on the shelves. All that stuff goes into your body and really destroys a lot of the good bacteria that are kind of on your side fighting for you in there. So you might be putting in a lot of foods that are unfortunately actually killing a lot of the good bacteria and allowing the bad bacteria in your system to kind of to thrive and grow. So if you feel like you have been getting sick a lot, where your energy is really low and you feel fatigued and you just don't really feel well, a lot of these issues could be stemming from your stomach and your intestines and where you digest your food. We're really the only species that has to cook our food. And when we cook our food, especially the way that some people cook their food with really high heat, and different cooking techniques, it really kills a lot of the natural enzymes and the bacteria that's on the food. So if you grow a carrot in your backyard, with good soil, when you take that carrot out, it has good bacteria and it has natural enzymes. And if you wash it a little bit and eat it, you're going to be able to easily digest that food, because it has all those natural things that help you process that food. But a lot of things that are pasteurized and cooked and preserved, it starts to lose all these functions. So it doesn't contain natural enzymes, it doesn't have bacteria on it. So it really puts a lot of stress on your body, because when your body ingests some of these items, it takes a lot of work to break it down into what it needs to be for your body to utilize any of the nutrients that you're trying to get. Especially if you're eating food that doesn't really have nutrients. Like fast food and processed food, they don't really even contain a lot of nutrients. So your body is going to do all this work to break it down and then not really get anything from it. And this leads to like chronic enzyme depletion, low stomach acid. So some people, when they, your stomach, you're in your stomach, the acid is supposed to fill up, and then the sphincter at your esophagus closes when it senses that your stomach acid has reached a certain point, and that's when digestion is going to occur. And if you have low stomach acid, from having to break down a lot of processed foods and just overeating and having to break down a lot of food at one time, your stomach acid may not build up enough, and that's when, at the bottom of your throat, that hole never closes and the food starts to come back up, and you get heartburn and gases and burping and things that are kind of unpleasant to experience, because you don't have the bacteria and the enzymes and the stomach acid to break down your food. So when you take some of these products, like a good digestive enzyme, a stomach acid booster like an HCl, and these probiotics, it gives you, and then if you eat, couple that with eating good food, your body's going to receive that good food. It's going to break it down better. It's going to take all those nutrients and utilize it. And you could really start to feel a lot, your energy is a lot better. You feel a lot less fatigue. You get sick less often. And everything starts to kind of snowball in the right direction. So why do I choose this one? So again, this is the P3OM proteolytic probiotic from Bioptimizers. So from what I understand, there are two types of probiotics that you could take. So there's colonizing probiotics and there's transient probiotics. So most probiotics out there are colonizing probiotics. So the hope is that you ingest these probiotics and they start to group together and kind of form a colony inside of your system to, you're kind of forming a little army to fight against these bad bacteria. Um, what this probiotic is, this is a transient strain of probiotic, which it means that it goes into your system and then it also goes out of your system. So it moves through your whole digestive system. So they kind of call it like an assassin or a Navy SEAL. So it goes in, it kills a bunch of stuff, and then it goes out. So one benefit to this type of probiotic is that, with colonizing probiotics, it almost seems like the colonies are unorganized. So they lack leadership of good bacteria. So the colonizing probiotics kind of start to live in your system, but they don't organize themselves in the right way and they don't kind of do their job. So you kind of add them in, but they're just not effective. So these transient strains of probiotic, from what they are understanding through research, is that these go in, they wipe stuff out, they kill a bunch of stuff, and then they are packaged through and moved out of your system, the same way that other stuff comes out of your system. So they call these like the Navy SEAL, the hitmen, that go in, they kill stuff that's not supposed to be in there, and then they make their escape and they exit. Whereas a lot of other probiotics are colonizing probiotics. So you put them in and you hope that they do their job, but sometimes they just kind of hang out in there and really don't do you any good. So I would suggest, from everything I've researched, I like this probiotic. I like the research behind it. So this is, again, the company is Bioptimizers. So I could put that in the description for the video. And this is the P3OM probiotic. So like I said, it's a transient strain. It kind of moves through your system and just wipes out tons of unused proteins, bad bacteria, bacterial overgrowths, so that, in your gut microbiome, so in the environment that is your stomach and your intestines and your digestive tract, it makes sure that it keeps the balance of having, no overgrowth of bad bacteria that could cause illness and fatigue, and different types of diseases. So if anyone has any questions, just comment. And if you need any help figuring out or want to learn more about this, just let me know.